All right, I think we are on YouTube now. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Academy of Astrology podcast. Once a month, me, Mandy, and Marcus will be here to talk about the monthly transit. But this week Marcus is not available, but we still have Mandy. Hello, Mandy. How are you?
Oh, hello.
So happy to see you again very soon.
I know. We were at the Astrological Association conference at the weekend just gone. It was an absolute fabulous weekend. It was absolutely amazing. We're still recovering, aren't we, from just all the excitement?
I agree. It's not just assignment, and it's also a lot of work. I
Mhm.
mean, for you and I, also Marcus. Marcus give workshop, give talk, and you and I we do the behind the scene work. We just Monday was stick with with a computer and desk. Wow, how many? About 2 day, entire 2 day, and solve out all the technical problem. That was that is really I think from your love to this you know community. I have to say one thing. I think you may not remember. I always mention this. When we you remember when we were student long time ago. I don't want to mention how many years, but a long time ago when we were still student, and it was you introduced me to astrological association. And I would say, well, what are we doing there? And this and that. And you told me I want to support our community. And that community spirit, that what you say really, get me. And I always remember that sentence. I want to support our community. It was
And
from you.
so you have as well. You just over a year ago, you joined the board of the Astrological Association, and thanks to you proposing it to me and nominating me, I joined literally just at the conference. So I'm serving the we're both serving the community even more. But and
Yeah.
it's an absolute delight to do so because astrology's given us so much.
Yes. Yeah. And
Mm.
then this community, this lovely community is kind of like a home for everyone. And we are kind of really do our best to also to help the newcomer, the beginner to learn astrology, and the new speaker has a chance, have a stage, to to share their discovery. And that was so important for our place. But also
Mm.
there's a lot of fun. I mean, dinner, coffee, and then dress up, and also the party. But so we both a little bit tired, so we usually just have to go to bed early.
The days of me going to conference and staying up till 3 a.m. are long gone, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I
Oh.
still, I still for some reason. Well, but this conference is lovely, and the venue is lovely, right? And I just see the Francesca Ordi. She released the beautiful, beautiful reel, and that was like, wow, that's her talent,
Yeah, on
the film,
Instagram,
everything.
it's a
Yeah,
gorgeous reel on Instagram. She really, you know, she really shows the conference, just the energy of the conference, but also the beauty of the setting as well. Like, she's very good at that kind of.
yeah, yeah,
And she gave a really
exactly.
interesting talk actually on cardology,
Yeah,
really
you
got
were
a lot
there.
of
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, so I mean, I have to say we still recover, and Marcus too. Marcus had to give workshop and talk, and he was constantly. He was so busy too. So we have no time to race, in it. So Mandy, what's your next project?
My next project is on the 15th of October. I'm giving a talk for the Brighton Astrology Circle. It's online. You can see their website for details. Actually, I was looking at their autumn semester, and they've got
Yeah.
some absolutely fantastic speakers. When I looked at the list
Mhm.
of speakers for this autumn, I was just like, wow, I felt like really honoured to be part of it. There's some fantastic speakers,
Yeah.
including our very own Aleo Lopez is
Yeah.
giving a talk. So it's well worth checking it out. Come to my talk or any of the others. 15th of October, my talk is on finding purpose in challenging aspects, whether it's in your natal chart or whether it is when if you're working with clients, either or both. And I take a
Mhm.
psychological perspective and I also take a spiritual perspective as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, it is so interesting. I think, especially the on-purpose astrology that your channel and
Mhm.
especially your focus on this area. And
Mhm.
so that was amazing. So we have the eclipse season coming up. So for AOA this month, we have the Virgo solar eclipse workshop. I will host it. I will lead people to talking about what does this solar eclipse mean, because at a 29-degree Virgo and a rectic degree, and with a Virgo, that is kind of a daily routine. How are we going to
Mhm.
feel like, they don't mean burnout or something, overwhelming. The
Mm,
overwhelming
mm.
can interpret it in a burnout feeling. So I'm going to go through it and then help beginner to discover where is this solar eclipse in their chart, and then what we can see from the chart, and is there any aspect from the chart. So this is on 20th of September for AOA UK. So you can go to aoauk.co to book your place, and this is just donation based. So you give what you can. And also, we are preparing. I think all my friends already received my email just right after conference. Someone even said, do you have time to rest? I said, yes, I do, but this is urgent. I have to send out all the email to make sure the blood and the things I have to prepare, because we have our yearly online conference, AOA UK online conference once a year, usually toward to November or December. We will have our online conference, and this year is December, from 5th of December Friday to the 7th of December Sunday. We have two tracks. On the Saturday is the track of the prediction or forecasting technique. We have a Hakan, Marcus, and Ling Bell and Sue Tompkins are going to join us, Alejo and Maria Blagier. And also we have a mountain track. All my mountain friends come and join me. We have Mandy will join us, and Liam McCarthy will join us, and also Anna Andrade will join us. So also we have our new friend Saffron. Saffron they will join us too. So it's well mixed between the traditional, modern, mundane, personal, and individual and the collective. That's going to be fun. So we will announce this program very soon. But now let us focus on the eclipse, because this month we have first Pisces lunar eclipse, and then coming to the toward the just right before, right? Just right before the Libra increase, we have the solar eclipse. So everything all together. Mandy, could you give a little bit of information about that first, this lunar eclipse?
Yeah, if I may, I'd like to set the scene a
Yes,
little bit first
please.
before we, because this will relate to both the lunar eclipse
Yeah.
and solar eclipse. Is we have now, of course, this ongoing Saturn Neptune conjunction, which is
Yes.
sextile the ongoing Uranus Pluto trine. So this is on the background here, so you've got the Uranus Pluto is always revolutionary energy, and it's in the air sign, so you've got the revolutionary energy, revolution in consciousness, I think. And we're
Hmm.
already seeing a revolution in consciousness with AI in a lot, and in technology, and just in the way people are thinking, the way people are talking about awakening to truth, you know
Mm. Oh,
going to
yes.
become a really big theme, I think. And then when you've got that sextile to Saturn and Neptune, you've got structures breaking down. Because don't forget, Uranus breaks things down, and Pluto transforms, and Neptune dissolves and disintegrates. So we're going to see structures changing over this period. So this is going really now from, it started probably about a month or so ago, and it's going to go right through really until sort of, best part of a year. It's exact in February next year, and then in July it becomes even more exciting because Saturn's moved on, and Jupiter comes in as well then at that point. Um, but so those are just top line themes. And if you come to the conference, the AOA conference, so you're going to hear a
Yeah.
lot about this. But just to let you know, for these eclipses, these September eclipses, there is some little differences, some little tweaks to this
Ooh.
Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto. The first being that Saturn on the 1st of September, went backwards, went retrograde
Yes.
back into Pisces again. So it's going to have its last gasp in Pisces, and I think it's February when it goes back to zero of Aries. So we need to sort of review our personal boundaries, our emotional and our physical boundaries, I think, at this time during this period. And taking responsibilities for our feelings, our emotional reactions, all this, this is the background to sort of bear in mind when we start talking about the eclipses, so we can start thinking about it in these terms. It's about our dreams and our ambitions. How do they come together? Coming together for review, maybe. What have we been dreaming about? What are our nightmares? Don't forget that Neptune is about dreaming, Saturn can be about our fears. So what are our nightmares? What are our fears, and facing those, and really looking at reality through a different lens, perhaps, as well, sort of using our imagination. What is really interesting as well, 1st of September, it's nice to look at what happens in the news. So 1st of September, it's just gone back retrograde. We're on the 4th today, 5th today.
Yeah.
And I read a news story today in the news that they have developed, a pharmaceutical company have developed a pharmaceutical drug which includes LSD, what we used to know as acid, tuning on, dropout, and all of that, the recreational drug. And they have developed it, and early research and testing on people with anxiety who've been taking it have had really good results. So that's really interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
For sort of Saturn going back into Pisces conjunct Neptune. It's really interesting. A really innovative new drug.
Yeah.
Neptune in Aries, of course. So I thought that's really interesting. If anyone's taken it as LSD, acid, as a recreational drug, they'll know it can cause hallucinations. They'll also know that it helps you to see the world from a different perspective. It turns on different things in your different parts of your brain, so you can see like the bigger picture, the different perspective. So that's really interesting. And the other thing that's really interesting as well that's happening at the moment, and you'll know about this, Rod, I'm sure, is that Pluto's gone out of bounds. So
Yes.
by declination, it's kind of out of bounds from the declination of the sun, which means
Yes.
that it's kind of a lot freer. So it's kind of free to do what it wants. It's a bit of a wild card. So we're going to see, and I think it's out of bounds until, correct me if I'm wrong, Rod, until around November. Is it
Yes,
sometime in
indeed.
November? That's right. Yeah. So we've got during this eclipse season, we've got a special Pluto in Aquarius. So the themes of Pluto in Aquarius are going to be even stronger. That idea of wealth and power plays and equality and transformation and all that kind of thing. And wealth and taxes come under Pluto, right? And
Yeah.
equality, fairness of wealth and fairness of taxes is
Yeah.
probably a theme for Pluto and Aquarius. Today's news,
Yes.
that's what I'm going to
Resign.
say.
Deputy.
Today's
Deputy.
in the UK, we have a Labour leader who was Deputy Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Labour Party. She's one of the most leftist, socialist sort of
Yeah.
politicians in the Labour Party at the moment, and the second most senior politician in the UK. Because of a house purchase, it was deemed that it was discovered that she hadn't paid the right amount of tax. She hadn't paid enough tax, so
Yeah.
wealth and taxes, which means that she has had to resign her position.
Yes.
Because she made a mistake. She didn't take the right advice. She took advice, but not the right advice. So she's had to resign her position. The ethical board said
Yeah.
she made a mistake. She should have paid more tax than she actually did. It was quite an amount of money. They did praise her integrity, however, of coming clean, of doing the right thing. So that's interesting, because I think what we're going to see with Pluto in Aquarius, we might, even during this out of bounds period, we might see more changes in leadership. But generally speaking, this setting the
Yeah.
scene, this configuration I've been talking about, and eclipses, don't forget, are about endings and new beginnings. This configuration, this Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto configuration is obviously Saturn's gone back to Pisces, but it's going to go forward again, is in the early cardinal degrees. And the early cardinal degrees are where things happen, where
Yeah.
things come to pass and things happen. So there's going to be big changes. So just to let you know, I think these eclipses are going to be the start, the beginning of the end, and the beginning of a lot of changes in our personal lives, but also in societies and structure and all that kind of thing. So just to sort of set that, I think that's important because it's such a dominant, to just set that scene, because it's such a dominant and very interesting. The potential there is incredible for that configuration. Andre Barbeau, who wrote many years ago Mundane Astrology, his book is brilliant. It's French, so being translated into English and other languages, has said of that configuration, it is potentially the most benevolent and beneficial configuration of the century, but it depends on what we make of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this background like a outbound of Pluto, and also the Saturn back to the Pisces. It really set up the tone of this season, and it because at the same time we have eclipses, so this will carry on for a while, for even to the next year. So this tone, this flavor will continue, and I really like the what you say about the outer planet configuration, because it does give us opportunity. Well, but also because all these outer planet are at 1 degree, 0 degree, 2 degree. So there is like we are just moving the house. We are just moving the house. Everything is not settled yet. Something even like Saturn even move back. So it's like move in, move out, and everything is not settled. So there is a lot of kind of maybe I can say uncertainty. Lot of
Mm,
uncertainty that we are
mm,
just a little bit like, so what's going to happen and what should I prepare? But this lunar eclipse is very interesting because it's set on the axis of the Virgo and Pisces. So again, like echo this
mhm,
this kind of vision and this future, but also the reality and daily in our everyday life. What should we do? That was very interesting.
mm.
So, what strike you on this lunar eclipse in like aspect wise or midpoint or anything?
Yeah, what strikes me is what you've said really. Lunar eclipses are a full moon. It's a super strong full moon.
Yeah.
It has I always say this, but it has a much longer shelf life than a normal full moon, which kind of comes in
Yes.
one day. It depending, this is quite a long lunar eclipse actually as well. So it could have up to 6 months. So we don't normally expect something to happen on the day of the eclipse, which is 7th of September, 15
Yeah.
Pisces, 23 minutes. So anything you've got in the middle of the mutables going back, sort of 13 to 17 of the mutable signs.
Hmm.
I've got loads there, so I'll be all right, I think.
Of course.
um, so it's about all those Virgo and things, really, isn't it? It's about
Yeah.
routine, practicality. It's about anal the analytic mind, about critical thinking as well. I think
Hmm.
we need critical thinking at this time of um, truth. What is the truth? What do we believe in? Where do we get our news from? Because Mercury rules this lunar eclipse. It's the lord, as they say traditionally, of the eclipse is Mercury, also in Virgo. So
Yeah.
it's about being discerning, critical thinking. It's
Yeah.
about discrimination is another word for
Mm.
Virgo as well. Getting things in order, sorting the wheat from the chaff. That
Mhm.
might be decent advice for this lunar eclipse. Getting your things in order, getting your paperwork in order, or how you organize your time, how you organize your life. Where you try and control things too much, perhaps it needs to sort of let go because to make it less stressful, or vice versa, where can you put order into chaos if you need to as
Yeah.
well. And the other thing about Virgo is service is always important
Hmm.
for Virgo. It's a humble sign. It's a sign also, I think it's an eclipse, I think, where we need to rest, to have self-care and self-compassion. What I liked when I looked at the chart for this eclipse is that
Hmm.
there is a a moon Jupiter mutual reception,
Yes.
which I think is lovely. It's always nice to look at what's what's nice in the chart, what's helpful in
Yes.
the chart,
Yes.
and it's Jupiter in Cancer, obviously, and its moon in Pisces. So it's about big feelings and expanding emotions, and it's also about sensitivity as well. So
Hmm.
what are our sensitivities? Are our sensitivities our superpower,
Mm.
empathy, or are they draining us? So it's
Hmm.
about making that adjustment, because it's a lunar eclipse, it's an opposition between the sun and the moon. So
Hmm.
again, there's that outward look. It's about it often comes in through relationships. How are we giving too much of ourselves away, which is always something that to think about with Pisces. Are we giving too much of ourselves away?
Hmm.
Where
Yeah.
again talked about this Saturn going backwards into Pisces,
Hmm.
resetting our boundaries, potentially our emotional boundaries, but also our physical boundaries as well. But moon Jupiter is not only in mutual reception, it's also in a trine. So that's
Yeah.
aspect as well. So it's tolerant. It's where we might feel protective actually of others, where we might need to help others, to protect others. Virgo is a very helpful sign as well. So
Hmm.
where you can be almost the humble helper. This isn't a lunar eclipse of the big ego. Hey, look at me! I've won an award
Hmm.
because I've helped loads of people. It's about those lovely small acts of kindness, but also remember that small acts of kindness is also about being kind to yourself as well. And I think Jupiter in Cancer can also bring a bit of joy and a bit of
Mm.
enthusiasm mix as well. So that's a nice thing I think that we can work with on this eclipse.
I, I agree with you, especially this beautiful set was tried together with the mutual reception between Moon and Jupiter. It really gives us a chance to trying to understand each other. And in this kind of hectic time, busy time, everyone was like, oh, I have my political idea, you have yours, or I want to do things in this way. I want to stay in the what I used to be, and some people say you need to adopt, you need to change. But there is between this moon and Jupiter, they say, hey, try to listen to each other, try to
Mm,
step into each other's shoes, and that would maybe going to no matter this lunar eclipse symbolize any challenge in our life.
mm,
This set of try with mutual reception, they can bring a mutual understanding, and then
mhm.
from that mutual understanding, we are kind of, help each other to grow. Or like you say, with that Virgo theme, the humble, every small things can help. I
Small
really love
things.
that. This maybe it's a beautiful sign of this lunar eclipse.
Yeah. And for people that beginners, a mutual reception is where you've got two planets in signs that like each other. So
Yeah,
so Cancer is obviously the sign the moon loves the most, and Pisces is also a sign that Jupiter loves to be in as well, because they can
yeah.
express themselves in positive and more easily flowing ways. That's what mutual reception is. And also while you were talking, when I got the sense of kind of the protective mother,
Oh,
you
yes.
protective mother moon, moon Jupiter in Cancer, the protective mother, and that expands I think out into the world, i.e. we are here, we're only renting this planet, we don't own it, we need to look after it,
Yeah.
we need to protect it.
Yeah, I like that idea. That is a very Virgo idea. So
That's very
we are,
Virgo.
yeah, we don't own it. We rent it. We are small thing. We small creature in this big vast world. Okay. Is that okay? I add a little bit of fixed star things in here.
Yes,
Yeah,
please,
okay.
always, I love your fixed
Okay.
star stuff.
Okay. So it is very interesting. This lunar eclipse, the moon's position at the 15-degree Pisces is aligned with two fixed stars, and very interesting because they are at the same degree. They are in different constellation, but when we align them with ecliptic, they are at the same degree, 15 degree of a Pisces, and they have a very different signature. Very different signature, but when we put them together, you usually build up an interesting image. So the first one I want to introduce is Arcana. This fixed star is in constellation Eridanus. So Eridanus is the river. the river's beginning point was in the around the feet of Orion, still south part. So we don't usually hear about this constellation and these fixed stars because it's in south celestial hemisphere. So it's further south, and in UK we have difficult to watch these two big stars. But if you go a little bit south, you can see them like in like latitude 22 or somewhere like Tenerife or tropical area. Eridanus, the mythology give us is the river in the Rome that called Po River, but also another story related to Eridanus was the in the mythology, the son, the Phaeton, the son of Helio or Apollo, was challenged to take the solar chariot to cross the sky. But he was could unable to control that chariot, those wild horse or something. So was Zeus was have to stop this tragedy. So he strike lightning and kill him. So he fall from the sky with like a zigzag route. So when you see the constellation of Eridanus is zigzag.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a well, it's beautiful constellation, but the story is tragedy. And usually this story also related to solar eclipse
Oh,
because
wow.
the solar god Helios was refused to attend to his job after his son died. There was the part of a mythology talking about a solar eclipse after Phaeton's death. So Eric, uh, what Arcana, this fixed star, has the meaning about a sudden change, a
Wow.
tragedy or sudden change, or rapid change, and kind of shocking news. But it's also like the flow of a river, so move so
Mm,
fast, so immense, and move so fast. So the kind of and news and the shocking news coming so quickly and the rapid change that people have difficult to react. Usually make people feel a little bit worried.
mm.
But another fixed star has totally another meaning, but it can binding together was very interesting. Another fixed star called Anka was in constellation Phoenix. Phoenix. So, the firebirds and the birds with rebirth. So it symbolized the rebirth power of a rebirth, building up something from the ash. So after this kind of a rapid change, we can stand up quickly. We can rebuild something. So these two fixed star align with the new moon was a little bit interesting because we already know the Saturn changed the sign, and we already know the Pluto out of bond. So a whole lot of a sudden change energy together with like echo these two fixed star is pretty interesting, isn't it?
Really interesting, and that fits those two fixed stars together fit with the themes of the Uranus Pluto dynamic as well, don't
Yeah,
they?
I
Sudden
agree.
change and then rising from the ashes.
Yes,
Wow,
yes, yeah,
amazing. That just
yeah,
just just adds another layer of depth to the picture, doesn't it? Every time.
yeah, indeed. Well, so um, Mandy, if you don't mind, what would be the spiritual way to read these lunar eclipse from the Pisces and all the aspect?
Well, I think the way I work, I tend to work in terms of sort of raising your vibration. So
Mm-hmm.
not trying to go into fear. It's easy to go into
Mm-hmm.
fear when we see these big, heavy planets and changes are coming,
Yes.
see changes coming. So it's about grounding,
Mm-hmm.
it's about breathing. I know we breathe unconsciously, but
Mm-hmm.
grounding and doing breath practices, doing
Ah.
meditation if you can, and also with this lunar eclipse, saying a little bit more about this moon Jupiter trine, artistic stuff, music, dance. Just find whatever you can find
Mm-hmm.
joy in, even if it's the smaller things, the small things. Gratitude, I think, is another one. The gratitude is another, stepping into gratitude from the heart to just feel joy and anything that just makes you feel joyful for, even if it's just for half a second, even if it's a nice
Uh-huh.
cup of tea or a bird song. But
Yeah.
if you're the type of person who likes to sing and dance and make
Yeah.
music and put music on and play music, or to sort of do anything sort of artistic and in the body that's embodied, so that's why I said
Embody.
dancing and singing, using your voice. The Lord of the eclipses, of course, Mercury.
Yeah.
Virgo is an earth sign, so take yourself out in nature. We've already talked a little bit about
Yes.
nature and being the custodians of nature. Take yourself out in nature. You know, don't be shy. Go and hug a tree, or you know, or something like that. Or even play sport if that's your thing. So
Yeah.
that would be the kind of things that are just helping you to stop worrying, because Virgo is a worrier.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
warrior. Yeah.
Think a lot, think a lot.
Mm.
Okay, should we move on to solar eclipse if you want to? Okay, should we? Okay, so the another one coming up on the 21st, I think, 21st of September is the Virgo solar eclipse. Very interestingly, because this is at 29-degree Virgo. Many astrologers will tell you, oh, that's an erratic degree, a sense of crisis, a sense of urgency, a sense of intensity, isn't it?
Yeah, the 29 degrees of any sign really is we've already talked a lot about some of the Virgo themes. These will
Yeah,
carry through because
yeah,
it's a new moon solar eclipse. So you've got both the sun and the moon in Virgo. So all these themes that we've already talked about Virgo. I would
hmm
also add health into that,
yes,
health and well-being, looking after our health. Um, it's it's also um let me see what else it is about. Let me just think. Routine and our
hmm
and our responsibilities, and how hard are we working, all of those sort of
yeah,
extra Virgo things to bring in. We're not sure of the whole picture. It's the beginning of the lunar cycle. It's a new moon as well as an eclipse, of course.
yeah,
So again, we can look into that fear of what's to come, you know, and we can maybe just take a beat and think we don't even know anything yet. Again, Mercury is really important for this eclipse.
yeah,
It's Virgo, and it's ruled by Mercury. So we don't know all the information. So again, anything that we can do, some of the things we've already talked about to kind of still our minds.
hmm
Things might feel urgent, things might feel a little bit chaotic, things might feel like we've got to get this sorted, got to get this sorted, changes coming, new beginnings, and
yes,
we feel the need to take action. But then I think there's also perhaps with an eclipse, there's that feeling a little bit stuck as well at the same time. So again,
yeah,
kind of breathe through it. And I think what's really interesting about this, there's some really, really, really interesting. I can see why you're doing a whole workshop on it, Rod. We've got like 15 minutes to talk about it. There's so many interesting configurations going on for
yes,
this solar eclipse. We've basically got two yods and a kite.
yes. So all together, and then you got, and sometimes like are you either worry too much because there's a Saturn opposite the Sun and Moon, but it's part of a yod, and how are we going to read it? And in
Yeah,
another way, it's like there's not just one kite. You say it's a two kite.
yeah, I mean, what's interesting though is we've got Mars is the axis of one of the rods, and
Yes.
it's in Libra, which isn't a great sign for Mars. However,
Yeah.
if we're going to be really totally positive,
Mm-hmm.
we've got where there is enmity, there is a potential for peace talks, for negotiation, for cooperation
Mm,
in the world, and also in our private lives and our relationships. It might be the situation where nobody's really happy, no one's getting exactly what they want out of this
yes.
situation. However, by going into things peacefully and by cooperating, being knowing when to yield and when to hold on.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at the 29 degrees of Virgo, it's a mutable sign. It's going to go into cardinal. So very
Yeah.
soon we're going back into this cardinal. We've already talked about the early cardinal degrees with this configuration, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto. So very quickly it's going to go back into the sun and the moon are going to go into cardinal, they're going to go
Yeah.
into Libra. So again, we'll have that very forward movement where things feel urgent and stuck, and then suddenly everything will change.
Yes.
So look for sudden changes. You've already talked about this rod. It
Yeah.
comes through in the main in the outer planet, comes through in for the lunar eclipse for the fixed stars as well.
Exactly.
And the other thing that I think looks good for positive change in the kite
Hmm.
is that it involves Mercury at 5 degrees of Libra. So
Yes.
we've got the eclipse part of it. We've got I can't remember exactly all the planets are in it. Do you have the chart for this one?
Yeah, I have a chart for this one. Should I show
Oh,
it up?
let's put the chart
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
because
Okay.
so you've got the solar eclipse you've got the solar eclipse at the end of Virgo.
Here we are.
You see that there, and that brings in 5 degrees of Libra for that Mercury there in which is also good, I think, for peace talks. Then it goes to the Saturn Neptune as well, and then it ties in as well. The kite shape
Hmm.
ties in that Uranus Pluto trine there. I think that's
Yeah.
everything. And of course, then we've got the opposition, of course.
Yeah.
We've got the opposition of the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse here to that Saturn Neptune. And so it's a grand trine basically, and it's an airy grand trine. I know Saturn's in Pisces, but it's an airy grand trine,
Yeah.
generally speaking. And that means, again, it's about easy flow of communication, of
Hmm.
ideas. And then you've got, as I said, Mercury comes into it because it's just 5 degrees off.
Yeah.
That there, Mercury in Libra, again, peaceful talks about you know, between powerful people, because Pluto's there,
Yeah.
powerful people.
Yeah.
Um, so I think there is really some hope for this solar eclipse when we
Hmm.
look at it, when we really start to look at it, there's a lot of hope there,
Yeah.
resolutions.
Yeah.
There's also a Venus Mercury mutual
Hmm.
reception there as
Yeah.
well. So we have
Yeah.
another mutual reception. So we
Yeah.
have the peaceful planet Venus
Hmm.
in the sign that Mercury loves, and Mercury's in the sign that Venus loves. So again, we have got that potential there for
Hmm.
good conversations, for sorting
Yeah.
things out, for negotiating, for good news stories, hopefully. So
Yeah.
I'm feeling quite positive
Hmm.
about this solar eclipse, if I'm honest.
I'm
We
with you.
Yeah, we still perhaps have the potential for split decisions,
Yeah.
for unexpected things to happen, for shocks, but also breakthroughs as well. So we can hope, we can really, and if we put hope in our hearts, both for our personal lives and the lives of our friends and our relations,
Hmm.
but for the world, there's a lot of peace that needs to be found in the world, and I would like to think that this might be it's a new moon solar eclipse. This might be the beginning of the end of some of the wars and horrors that we've been seeing.
Hope
Fingers
so.
crossed.
Yeah, I really hope so. Because I agree with you because the this job, like you said, it looks so busy, but there's a lot of tension. There's some tension there, but also that kite, we cannot ignore those kites with the air grand trine together with sextile. It gives us a lot of opportunity.
Mhm,
It gives and that's only if we want to use it or not. And it's not just about like you say that it is a lot of peace talk, and we can use it to maybe apply in our everyday life to work together with other people or resolve some conflict if we want to
mhm,
apply it and in a very practical way. Because I think the for what coming up, the what we're going to step in the new time, a new era, we maybe need each other. We maybe need each other. It's not just me or nothing, or what I want or nothing. That is a very
mm,
maybe not practical. Let me say that you use the Virgo's term, not practical. We have to be practical. I know there's ideal, there's something, but now we have to learn to work together. And that Virgo, that kind of like you say, like humble attitude, maybe is one key, especially when it opens it to the Saturn and the Neptune. I like this Saturn Neptune because they are quite cute, to be honest. They are indeed.
They are, and I think the grand trine that forms a kite, grand trines can be kind of, can kind of, be sort of kind of closed circuit in a sense, but because of
Yes.
that opposition
Yeah.
takes it outward, that opposition from the solar eclipse
Yeah.
takes it outward to the Saturn and Neptune. Perhaps we should all ask for compassionate structures that help
Mhm.
people.
Wow. I love that
No?
sentence.
Yeah.
I agree. I love that sentence.
Yeah, just restructuring things in a more compassionate way,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also innovative as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
Thinking outside the box, doing things differently in
Yeah.
fairer ways, which also brings in that Uranus and Pluto energy as well. That's part of it. I mean, it's
Definitely.
an incredible configuration. It's just, as an astrologer, it's really interesting.
Uh,
So put me on the front row for your online workshop, Roddy. 20th, is it? 20th of September, is it?
Yeah, 20
Yeah.
September. Yes, yes, of course. Because what I think is this Saturn and the Neptune are the key of this eclipse. And who doesn't like a Saturn Neptune? Well, maybe you can read it in kind of a fear way, but who doesn't like dreams come true? When you have Neptune dream, you need a Saturn to make it come true. I still remember when we talk about the outer planet cycle, and some astrologer mentioned about the this set of aspect like. You could be artist, but you cannot be artist without Saturn. You can be artist with Neptune, but you
Mhm.
cannot be an artist without Saturn to make it come true. You need the
Mhm.
body. You need those the work, those tangible things, those manifestation. You need Saturn to be there. So when Mercury meets Saturn, it's a great opportunity to make dreams come true. And now they are kind of give us a chance to review. And they are both retrograde for Saturn, go back to Pisces. So we are going to finding those detail we've been ignored a long time ago for the last couple months, and then we're going to sort it out, and we have a chance, by next year's February, we can start again. But while you were talking, I went back to check ephemeris about you mentioned when other planet move to like a degree of the like a middle degree of the mutable sign and the early degree of the cardinal sign may be the trigger to happen. And I just very quickly look by the end of November, Mars will first go to the around the like a 15 degree of Sagittarius. So this will trigger from the will square
Trigger the lunar
the
eclipse, yeah.
lunar eclipse,
Mhm.
and then very soon the sun will go to the similar position, and then following by Mars go to the cardinal, and then the sun is going to nearly winter solstice or Capricorn in Greece. So we were just near that time. Sun will move by the end of Sagittarius and the early degree of Capricorn.
Mhm.
So end of this year, we are going to we are going to have a lot of fun. Maybe it would be the time to manifest, or we can use the key to we can use this key moment to fulfill what we want to do.
And the other thing as well, I've just realised as well, is that the day after, I think, this solar eclipse, it's the Libra equinox.
Yes,
So that's another big chart to look at another time is the Libra equinox. It's the fall equinox, the autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere,
yes,
the
yeah,
opposite southern hemisphere. It's a spring equinox.
yeah,
And that astrologers look at that chart, of course, to look for the 3 month ahead to make predictions for the 3 months ahead. And I think when we are looking at the equinox chart, I don't think we should forget that, particularly the solar eclipse, because that's going to be a really, like you've already said, it's going to be a really interesting predictive tool for when
yeah.
anything hits those 29 degrees of the mutables, or the 0 early degrees of the cardinal signs, then we can look for things happening in our own charts, but also by following the news. So it's exciting, isn't it?
Definitely, definitely. Yes. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Mandy. You talk because Marcus is not to share your duty, so you have to constantly explain a lot of things. I was
Can
like,
I say, can I
yeah,
say one more really important thing
please.
for everyone watching this?
Yeah.
Rod Chang has just brought out a fantastic new book called Comets in
Oh,
Astrology. It came out just a week or so ago,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Show us
Yes.
Comets in
Here we are.
Astrology. I've started reading it. It's amazing. The research, the level of research is absolutely phenomenal. It's a topic not many of us know about in terms of using comets in astrology, simply because there aren't many people who've gone into the depths of research that Rod has gone
Yeah.
into. As if
Oh.
that's not impressive enough that he took that photograph on the cover himself.
Oh,
It's a
yes.
very you can't see it very clearly here, but there you go, there's the comet. So
Comments. Yeah.
yeah, I would highly recommend that. And not just because
Thank
it's my
you.
dear friend, but also it's a brilliant piece.
Thank you, dear Mandy. Thank you, dear Mandy. Okay, so thank you so much, and also promote my book. And don't forget, if you want to hear Mandy's talk in Brighton Astrology Group, so go to visit Brighton Astrology Group's website. Okay, it's the purpose on purpose of the
Finding
plan
purpose in challenging aspects. Yeah.
finding purpose in challenge aspect going to be fantastic. And also, if you are interested about the solar eclipse, please come to join us on the September 20th of September. We are going to work together to work out, even though today we talk about quite a lot, and we are going to look through our personal chart and we're going to discuss, what does that mean for us? And then, with those with the outer planet configuration, what we can use for for fulfill this kind of outer planet energy in those charts. Okay, so thanks everyone to join us today, and especially thank you, Mandy. I know we both a little bit exhausted, but we still stand up and say, "Hey, let's do the podcast." And well, I hope Marcus can enjoy the family time together. And well, next week is our Mountain Astrology Group, and we have lots of going on. Trump just announced the Pentagon renamed as a Department of War. Have you heard about that?
No, goodness.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Department of War. You're just like, ouch. Yeah, I know. What can I say?
I thought he was gunning for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, somebody got to remind him, please. Okay, thank you, Mandy, today join us, and thanks everyone. I wish you have a nice weekend. Don't forget to come back to join us next week for the Mandana strategy discussion, and also Mandy's talk in Brighton and our workshop on the 20th of September. Also, when we will announce our Academy of Astrology online conference around the uh I think around mid of September. Okay, so thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.